Dear viewers, welcome to Sip and Chat. My name is Atim Sujin, and today with me is Monicah Malith. Monicah Malith is going to come on shortly, and we're going to be discussing about polygamy life, and we're going to see the challenges that comes with polygamy today, and comparing it with the future and the past. How was polygamy during our forefathers' time, and what has changed, and how does polygamy affect families across South Sudan and even across the globe? Of course, polygamy has been part of human life for some time, but of course, we also know that it comes with its own challenges. So we're going to be discussing that with Monicah Malith. Monicah Malith is a student of law at the University of Nairobi. She's in her third year now doing law. She's a panelist at Sip and Chat, where she's going to be featuring in most of the conversations to do with our social lives and social engagements. So allow me to bring on board Monicah Malith as we discuss this topic and as we move on. So Monicah will be joining us shortly. I'm sending her the link for her to be able to join Sip and Chat, and we'll discuss this further. If you have any comment or you want to be part of this conversation, please you can send me a message on my messenger, and then I'll be able to send you the link, and you can come on board and give us your conversation or give us your views. But it has to be constructive. We have to discuss in a very professional way, and of course in a very well-mannered way. So basically, Monicah Malith will be joining us, and as she joins us, feel free to comment, feel free to give us your views, and feel free to request for the link to join us in case you have any opinion that you would like to add into this conversation. Thank you so much. I'm still connecting with Monicah to see that she is here. Okay. Monicah Malith, welcome to Sip and Chat. Your mic is mute. Unmute your mic.
Yeah, I'm here.
How are you?
I'm good, Lord.
It's a pleasure to see you, and it's a pleasure to sip and chat with you again. Are you going to be sipping? I have my water here, so I'm sipping as we chat.
Yeah, you can get water as well and sip, which is not necessary. But I don't think
thanks a lot. No, it's okay. Thanks a lot, Monicah, for.
It's been a while.
I'm good. It's been a while for sure. It's been a while.
Yes.
I hope you are ready for studies.
Yeah, sure. It's all good.
I can see that. All right, yes. Thank you. So, Monicah, our today's topic is polygamy and how polygamy has been, taken in our societies, and comparing today's polygamy and our forefathers' polygamy back in the days. So, before we do that, please greet our viewers and tell them who is Monicah Malith.
Hi, everyone. My name is Monicah Malith. I'm a student. Just ended my second year and joining third year.
All right, I said that earlier, by the way.
Nairobi. Yes, that's what I can say.
Okay, that's great. So, Monicah, it's really a pleasure to have you here, and also as part of the Sip and Chat family. Please allow me to introduce you to our viewers. Monicah is going to be part of this journey. Sip and Chat is a youth platform where we discuss issues of social concern, issues that touch youth in the country and outside the country. So Monicah will be with us, and you will be seeing her frequently here to discuss issues of social concern. So otherwise, Monicah, tell us in your own definition, how do you look at polygamy today, in today's life, in today's setting, like as for us? Your mic is mute. Your mic is mute. You can unmute your mic, Monicah. Your mic is mute. Now you're okay. Maybe you can leave it on now, because you might forget when you are talking. It's okay.
All good. Like what I can just say is I come from a polygamous family. My father had 2 wives. My mother is the first, and my second mother, yes, stepmother. He has 2. So there is a huge transformation from the previous kind of polygamy we had and the one we have recently. We start with the way polygamy is brought up by the young men on social media or the dating class, or those people who are here now, doesn't really depict how it used to be before. Yeah, for example, if you enter into a relationship, you just want to, you find people posting about being polygamous, yet they can't even get a girlfriend. It's so hard for them to get a girlfriend. So before even you talk of polygamy, how do you get to have a girlfriend in the first place? Because those people who are making noise about polygamy know nothing about it. So and that is what is happening. They'll be there
Okay.
making a lot of noise, and exactly just getting one girlfriend is so hard for them. So what I will tell guys is, where do you have this girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend you can call your own first? Because what you have to know is that these our parents who are polygamous had dignified kind of relationships, and they want to use their humanization like and all of that, and justification is that our families or our forefathers were polygamous. No, it
Okay.
doesn't come like that. And
Okay,
maybe to
Monica, let me
tell
ask
you,
you.
yes,
Let me ask you, is there a difference between polygamy and womanizing? Are these two different things?
yeah, you know what happened is this. Back in the days, this is not what I have read. This is what I knew of polygamous fathers. When my father got married, he came and settled down and built his family first until
Exactly.
we were three. My mom had three kids. Now in the process of getting the fourth one. And then my father, they sat down as a family and they say we're going to have you're going to get married. It was a decision made by all family
So
members.
it's a collective decision, not only one person's
Yes,
decision. Okay.
yes. So I remember very well when my mother told me told my dad to get married. And I remember very well when my dad used to go and date, I would go with him.
Okay.
He will carry me along.
So it was no secret.
It wasn't secret. Everyone knew it in the
Okay.
family. And when my stepmother came in, my mother welcomed her very well. She was like a small sister to her who would stay with her, and she did everything that she wanted.
Okay. So do you
Yes.
believe that nowadays men are using womanizing and with the pretext of saying that our
To
forefathers used to have more
justify
wives
to
to
justify and
justify
say
their
that,
womanizing?
yeah, the woman, yeah, to justify it like it is as to justify their humanizing kind of nature. They say it is polygamy of our fathers. And you know what, very well, the men I respected very well are all men. Those men in the days, they had dignified kind of life and they respected themselves. But with the
Yeah.
young men of the current men we have starting from you, if you look at you move, you
Yes.
know, if you really remember very well, there was a meeting we had in Eldoret and we asked, what keeps you dignified as a person?
Yeah.
What really keeps you dignified is how you remember back your family and the family name you have. Those things people take them for granted, but they meant so much.
Yeah. So
Let me tell
Monica,
you
let
the
me ask you.
problems.
Okay, go
Yes.
ahead. Go ahead. We'll come to that. Go ahead.
The problem we have nowadays with the current generation, both men and female have issues when it comes to polygamy. All of them has a contribution. One, when my father got married, they came and decided to settle up a family. And when they came up to settle up this family, my father didn't give my mother insecurities of other relationships outside.
Okay.
Because even when you start a new house, you can't build another next house when
Yeah.
you're not even established and you have not even finished that one you built first. So when my father did that, brought my mother in, they did everything until they had wealth, they had a lot
Yeah.
of cattle. But nowadays, that doesn't happen. Families don't
Okay.
build up. And my mother, okay, my father gave my mother a reason to love him, and they were staying well, building up their family. And now, my mother did everything she could to win the trust
Okay.
of their husband. The women we have nowadays and the men we have nowadays, they don't have trust.
Okay. They don't build trust, in fact.
They don't build trust and they don't build a family in the first
Okay.
place.
Okay.
That's the problem we have. Yeah.
Monica, let me ask you a simple question. If at
Yes.
all, like in today's setting,
Mm-hmm.
as you said earlier, our men will say, yeah, our forefathers used to have more wives, but in real sense, it's an excuse of them going around to play with girls. That is okay. But also, there are girls, even if you come officially, there are girls who have made up their minds. Our foremothers were like that, but for us, it's not possible. I don't want a co-wife. It becomes a competition. It's a mindset at some point. I understand the context of men who will use it as an excuse to play around. That is very understandable, and I agree with you. But also on women's side, there are women who will tell you point blank, I don't want it. I don't need it, and it's not working. We have changed. The world has changed. What do you tell them?
Of course, even my mother, I think there was a point he didn't want my father to get married. It's never a point of acceptance as per se. But
Mm-hmm.
women are pleased with how you treat them.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And like nowadays, you find women, the conflict we have now in polygamy in South
Mm-hmm.
Sudan. I have come to make my own evaluation and have seen a different families. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you married your first wife when you were struggling. You didn't have anything from the day you dated.
Exactly.
You are very, like, you had nothing. You were struggling all along. So
Mm-hmm.
now when it comes to your second wife,
Mm-hmm.
at least you've accumulated some wealth and you're better off.
Mm-hmm.
And then you want to come marry that second wife. You give her a mansionette like the first wife doesn't have.
Mm-hmm.
You want to treat
So
her.
it comes down to materials. It comes down to the wealth
Yes, it comes
and how
down
you
to the
how
wealth.
you
When you
divide
treat your
how you
wife
divide
the way,
family wealth.
women are easily pleased.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to know the tactics. Every man must have a tactics on how they handle their own women and how do
Exactly.
we corner them.
Mm-hmm.
So from the word go, build a family
Mm-hmm.
and give her no insecurities from the word go. Don't
Mm-hmm.
pressure her on the fact that, don't make it clear to her that, like our fathers or polygamous, I must get married. Well, even she does, she still has you at heart, as fresh
Mm-hmm.
as you are, a new family, and someone is coming to tell you of polygamy from the word go. Who will not resist?
Of course,
So
anyone
the
can
problem
resist.
we have nowadays as young men is you want to instill this pressure in women. Like, again, like for me now, you want to come to me and tell me how polygamous you want to become. While even I have not yet settled up with you, we have not built life, we have not trusted each other.
Okay.
And you want to say like Monica will just accept that. I will not accept from the word go when you just come and tell me and it becomes a topic of discussion. Yet even you have not settled the one we have, I will not accept.
So it is a process of trust, of
Yeah, it's a process of
self-building,
trust and give
and also
each. Yeah,
okay.
give me time to at least uh have, like, take you as part of me. When you're in your home and we just got married, you're not part of me in the first place. But when,
Okay.
as we live on, there's that trust that comes in, and there's that bonding. You have to let that bonding exist. Even siblings
Okay.
don't just become siblings because they are born by the same mother and father. They bond
Yeah.
because of the relationship they create. Let's
Exactly.
create a relationship apart from the dating one we had. Can we create a
Mm-hmm.
relationship that we can trust, that we can live on?
All right. I want to ask this
You come
question.
to
Is
me the
quite
first two
is
years of our marriage, you want to tell me I'm very fresh, very energetic, blood is still running normally, and you want to tell me it's polygamy. I will not accept.
Monica, okay, let me ask this question. By the way, Monica, there's a conversation going on. People are saying that during our father's time, polygamy
Mhm.
was good because, our families and our fathers, our forefathers were not living like we do right now. They were not exposed to social media. They were not exposed
Mhm.
to different types of food. They were not exposed to a lot of sexual activities around us. Because even if you see now on DSTV or other channels, there are a lot of sexual activities happening. And
Mhm.
we grew up in a different setting completely. And that setting do not encourage, polygamy compared to the previous setting of our fathers and our grandfathers. Do you
Mhm.
agree with that point of view?
It is true. You know what have to happen as a lawyer? Monica Malith has become a lawyer today. There are so many things that I need the support of my husband.
Yes.
I like, if I have a case that I'm following up and my security becomes at stake, I need my husband to be available. I don't need a
Yes.
man who avail himself nowhere, because the moment I take up law, there are risk involved. And if my
Yes.
husband just be at any corner with any woman, he can be at risk. Okay,
Yeah.
one thing is I might be called to go to, like, let's say I have a case to handle, maybe in, say, in East Africa and I'm in South Sudan. So I have to travel where? To East, to, let's say, Kigali. So what I have to happen is I have to take my husband along with me when it is important
Okay.
sometimes. But now in the scenario whereby they say no, he has his own,
Yeah.
like, this time, this month, or this date, he is in this family. Will he give me that moral support? No, he will not.
So are you discouraging polygamy? What are you saying?
No, I'm not discouraging polygamy, but that is why they think of, that's where women come in.
And how do you manage such challenges? Like, of course, when you are in a polygamous marriage, it won't be all the time that the man will be there. Of course, there are times you will be somewhere else taking care of other needs or other part of the family. So, what do you do in such a situation if
One
this at
thing
all
she has
happens?
to, one thing I told my man is he must get married to a lady who is educated, maybe to my level.
Okay. How will that help?
And that will help in a way that they will be understanding that if even if that man is in my house today and he needs to travel with this and it is so urgent, I'll let him go because my turn will come and I will travel with him even if it is not
Okay.
my turn when it is so
All right.
important. Yeah, and you know what a good family is built when people are at the same level, but when there
Exactly.
is imbalance, when there is imbalance of maybe the ideas, the kind of mental development in terms of your career and your studies, it will be so hard for someone who is just a mere village girl to understand my situation.
Okay.
She will always
So,
be like, the husband does this because she's educated or she's this and she's that.
yeah,
Yet she
yeah.
doesn't understand that this is really important to me.
Yeah, sure. But Monica,
Yes.
in human nature, some of these things will happen. Like you find that
Mhm.
if you have more than one wife, just like if you have kids, you won't love all your kids the same way. There's some time you will feel you are lenient to something, even if you don't know, but unknowingly, such things will happen. How do
And
families
this is
manage this? Because it can happen.
and this is what I have to tell my husband. He doesn't just have to get married because he wants people. I asked him, what if I give you a football team of 11 kids and you be the
Yes.
coach and I be the now how is it called, referee or whoever?
How did he respond?
Will you still say I want people?
Maybe
What
11
do
is
you
not
call
enough.
people?
Maybe 11 is not enough. Maybe 120.
What for? Okay, now men a team. If you have to get married now, let me tell you, you have to have a valid reason, just not needing people. You have to get a reason.
Definitely.
Even before people didn't just want to get married because merely they wanted to have a lot of people and all that. No.
Yeah, yeah, sure. No, it makes
And
sense.
again,
But,
people have been don't have resources to get the first wife, and they have multiple of them. When you
yes.
when you return another one home to give birth, you already have another one that you have impregnated.
Okay.
So the current life we have is, if my husband doesn't show the credibility that he is in a position to bring up another family, he will not get married. You must
What are the
make sure that
credibilities?
he's in a position financially,
Financially,
because
okay.
now my
Apart from
kids have to go
finances,
to
there are
school.
families who are
Yeah.
financially okay, but they're not able to manage polygamous life. So is that's
Because
another down to finance only.
it doesn't get down to finance, actually, but family management is another issue. You have to show that you have planned for all these times,
Okay.
and you have trust, plan, and finances. Now, because they have to go to school,
Yes.
they have to have medical, like, they have to on medical
Medical
terms, and
insurance.
also they have, yeah,
Yes.
medical insurance, let's say, and they have a lot of bills to cover when it comes to medication.
Take this scenario, Monica, whereby
Mhm.
someone marries Monica. Monica is a lawyer, she's working, she's earning well, and then the husband says, Monica, since you are financially okay and I'm financially okay, let's join hands and marry another wife and bring her home. I've seen this in our cultures where a woman who started a family and she has generated wealth with the husband together will be like, okay, fine,
Mhm.
since we are now well off, it's good to bring someone on board. In such situation where a man feels like they are financially capable with the wife that he marries, and they wanted to bring someone on board. What do you say about that? Because sometimes I would feel like, okay, fine, Monica is good, she's taking care of herself. I don't need to be financially supporting everything. So that means I can bring in someone. There's at least capacity to support someone else and to raise another family alongside Monica's family. How does that happen? Is that okay?
Uh, uh, um, yes, it's a bit okay.
A
It's a
bit
bit
okay, it's
okay.
okay.
It's a bit okay. Okay, the whole idea of polygamy, we don't dispute it just because it is a culture. And we don't have to
Yes,
be constraining our minds,
yes.
sticking to it, telling that it is not going to happen and all that.
Yeah.
What we do is we accept it because we have nothing to do about it. And the current men we have are very vigilant about polygamy. But what I tell my man is, if you have to get married to a second wife, do it. Mm-mm.
Okay, don't impregnate a lady.
Don't impregnate.
So what will he do? How do you want it done?
Go honorably and ask
But still, you will
for
have,
an husband.
Monica, listen, women, you will still have issues. Whether I do it the way you want or not,
Trust
of
me,
course, at some
trust
point,
me.
it comes down to protecting your territory. Like,
There is
you
a way
need to
you
be.
disarm someone. You know, a war will always be bad, but the way you plan it will a bit make more losses. The losses will not be much, although there will be losses. The same way when it comes to families.
Yes.
Let your wife, I want a woman, when you bring her home, let her understand my position with you. That you love me, yes, you care about me, and our relationship is intact. You know why issues
Okay.
come in a family is some of you men will go and they want to, there is that bad part of your woman you want to bring in. Like when you're with
Okay.
that lady you're dating, your woman calls, you don't have to pick up the phone. Let the suitor that you have understand the position you have in your family. And you shouldn't get
Okay.
married because you have problems until you settle them up. And don't let the
Okay.
woman you bring in have a glimpse of any disagreement you have with your woman. It's
She'll
just
use
the
it,
joy.
right?
It's
She
just
will
the
make
joy
use
of
of it,
any
right?
person. Yeah, it's just my joy. If someone, when a married man comes to date me today and I see the glimpses, there is a gap in their family. Of course, I'll
That
be
could be an
happy to join
opportunity.
in and
You will use
correct
it as
it.
an opportunity to.
Yes, and I will always be like, eh, who are you? Your man doesn't even
Seriously?
love me. Yeah, of course.
Ah, that's something weird now. Okay, that okay. You're talking at the point of honesty as a woman, as a lady, and I understand that.
Mhm.
And by the way, this is happening in our communities. We have such situations. So the first video we made last time, ladies complain when we talk about the issue of money. Some women will make sure they waste their husband's money, at least to frustrate him not to marry another wife. And there were a lot of disagreements, and some were saying no, it is true. Monica was right. Women divided themselves on that topic. Some were saying no, Monica is right. Even some gave examples that I've seen it happening. I have a friend of mine who's doing the same thing intentionally, just to hurt the husband. Some said no, this is not supposed to come from a lady and all that. There is this kind of mixed reaction. But the real sense, it is true. It's happening. You find that women will work hard to make sure this man is not having any catch with him, because of course, and it's a man's weakness, because when we get more money we marry more wives, so it is two ways. So in that aspect, do you think you need to build your husband regardless whether he will marry or not? You just need to build him.
Regardless, me, I need to travel. I need to make good money with my husband. We have to have vacations every other time, maybe twice a year. Like when we travel and maybe have a whole 1 week or 2 weeks to us outside. So for me, I'm looking forward to building a husband. And you know what ladies have had in their mind is the polygamy nature of men. And the moment they get them, they be rigid. You know, they try to bring in schemes, their own schemes on how they will stop this polygamy, yet they don't work on building the families they have first. Let me tell you, it was never easy for a man to get married even in the old days.
Yeah.
But what you have to know, if I go now to your family, for example, and Tim, you get married to me, for example, and then we settle up, I must win the trust of every other family member of yours. And even when you want to tell your family that I want to get married, your family will say, no, Monica is a good woman. You keep
Yeah.
her, stay with her for some times, sustain her, sustain your marriage. This marriage is very important. Don't bring another
Okay.
woman for now. But the women we have nowadays, they don't even want trust with your families. And men use that as an opportunity because you have no friendship with the family, the entire extended family. And we
So
have
they
to
took
accept that.
advantage.
Yeah, they take advantage and they said, even she's not even staying with my family.
Okay.
And first wives are always backed up by the community you are staying in.
If they are doing the right thing, if they are
If you
that
do
kind
the
of
right
women who
thing, if you
can.
stay well
Yeah.
with the family that you have, everyone will be always on your side. And that's even when any second man will come, any second woman will come in, she'll never get a position.
Yeah. Because
And
you have
and
won
that's
the
the
hearts
focus.
of,
The
of
secret the
family.
women should have now is, the secret is the family you have, their mother, the father. If I get to a man today and he has I must pagariong him, the entire
Okay.
family must be on my side. Even if that man
Okay.
get married, they all still cling to me. And a family is not only the man you get married to. That's what people have to know. And people have to
In our in our
identify
in our
the
in our
issue of
time in
polygamy.
our time, family is your husband and your kids, and that's it. Most of women are
And
doing that now.
that's the problem we have. We have 10 years or okay, 10 decades, like 20 decades before we realize that our families are we are really getting a commitment. It is so hard, it's still very
It's a
far.
process. It will
People
take
have
time.
to identify with the reality. Like for example, I told you last time, now I'm someone's home. I've never stayed with my family. And this lady might have been wanting to stay with their husband alone, but I'm there with them. They raised me. I studied
Yeah.
in their homes. And now if I'm in a position to have a big family, a big home, and I want to stay
Why
with
would you do
only
the
my
same thing?
husband and my kids, I have to do the same thing. South
Yeah.
Sudan is still a developing country, and people have to know that. You are helped. Your
Exactly.
husband was sponsored by their uncle. And this uncle now is in a position not to sponsor all the kids. Maybe even he gave you a chance, and one of his kids were not in school. He took you to the university and let people stay because he wants you to come up and to bring up the other family, and you have
Yeah.
to hold hands. And
Exactly.
and as that is happening still now, let's wait maybe for my daughter. She'll stay with the husband alone because I'll not be a vulnerable mother again. I'll have plan if I get old. I have money already. I've already saved, and they will take care of me. Yes, and I don't expect that as my generation to go and stay with my husband and stay with him alone. And I must
Okay.
win the trust of those families with me.
Okay, Monica.
Yes,
There are men and women who will say, why is Monica talking about polygamous life, blah blah blah, social issues, and yet she's not married? How do you respond to that?
I'm not married, but I've been living in a community where people are married.
Yeah.
The reality is that we are not, our eyes are not close to the realities, and you have to know what is happening. And for me to get prepared for the life and the married life, I have to know what is happening around. I know
Okay.
the inside stories of married women. I have stayed with them, and I can't pretend that I don't know what happens around. I can't
That's a
pretend.
good answer. That's a
I
very
have
good answer.
yes. I have
Okay.
gone. I know the inside stories about women who are married and what they do because I will hear the conversation in meetings. I will hear their conversations at home. I'm living with women sometimes. Even in the salon, you will hear people talking of how they are frustrating their husband and how they are doing all this to do that. And even I hear
So.
stories of when I was in Dubai, I used to work with my community guys, they like working with me. So they will tell me of exactly how things do happen. The conversation you will relate easily. And you don't have to
Definitely.
experience something for you to talk about it. We will not be
Exactly.
in school. Yes.
All right. But now, Monica, let's come
Yes.
to this point. You find that men and women got married, people are staying, the life is good, and then you bring in another woman, and then the issue of witchcraft comes in. I've seen it in our society nowadays. Women do run for witchcrafts, and it was not in our culture before. It was not part of our culture as young community, let me say. But nowadays it has been so rampant. You find that a woman will decide to go and seek other spiritual help, to win the man. It becomes a competition, and it goes beyond normal ways, but even going to witchcraft and all other things. What do you say about that? Is that kind of encouraging?
Why will a woman feel so comfortable when they know that this man doesn't love them genuinely, but he's doing things to be loved?
So they shouldn't be
Because
doing
of
that.
they shouldn't be doing that. You know,
Okay.
this is one thing that is happening.
Okay,
Things have happened.
we have a comment on Facebook. Lang Garbek Todo is saying, I wanted that lady, Atensijinium, to be my second wife if she's not yet married. What do you say about that? But then Lang
Uh,
Garbek is my uncle, and he has been saying, even in the past video we had, he said the same thing. So now you must have to respond to this because it has become serious. It's becoming a serious
Sir,
matter.
sir should follow the right procedures of getting Nyaninya. This is just a mere comment. I don't take it seriously.
Okay, so it's a main comment. If I told
Yes,
it
it's a
becomes
mere
serious,
comment.
then he must follow the procedures. Okay, that's
He'll
fine. It's
get
well
the right
answered.
answer as
You'll get the
that,
right answer, but not online.
not
So I think
online.
Langarberg, you are responded to. Okay, Monica, me at MCG, I'm someone who like talking about social issues in the community, but our community does not like open conversations, especially when it comes to sensitive issues. So at some point, like last time we talked about it, and I asked you, now that we're talking about this, what if someone brands you in a different way? What do you say about it? But today I want to ask in a different way. You know, do you feel you are dating? Yeah, you are having some affairs. Is there a time you feel like someone is threatened by your open-mindedness, the way you discuss things and the way you see, the way you view cultures and families? Is someone feeling threatened? Have you felt like at some point someone is threatened by your kind of
It's so
mindset?
hard for me. It's so hard getting into a relationship because I have had this notion. People say she's big-headed. Ever since I was to the point I have now, people say, "Hey, that girl, she's tough." That's a statement. And at some point, people will just talk outside there. Not every man who comes to me I should date. Not every man in my inbox I should date. You know, at least not because you are bad in any way, but if you don't get along, I will not date you. And me being open minded, it's just that it has to happen. You have to make conversations on how
Yes.
we know. I have experienced all kind of lives, and I call myself a lady of both worlds because
Yeah.
I have stayed in Uti and Jiang. I have come to school. So I know what it is and what all these lives have impacted on me, you know.
Do you think your life in the cattle camp has contributed to your views right now? Because I've seen girls of your age who do not look at life the way you're looking at it, because you have both cultures at your hand. Is that a contribution to what you have become today?
And my days back at the cattle camp, they are a contribution of who I am today.
Okay.
Yes.
So, and of course, now if I put it down with another lady of your age who was born and raised it down, trust me, you will have different views on what we are talking about right now. So I can agree with you. Your being in the cattle camp has contributed. You know, having two sides of life, having the modern life and having the cultural life, and then joining these two things might have given you this kind of views about
And what
life
people have to know is
and
this.
flexibility.
I told you this last time I came, and this is what is the reality. The white people see out there as only having one woman. They have a variety of women they elect. Nyan Monjang, if you come to her day and say at him Sunday just divorced, the other day you want to marry will not be accepted.
Yes.
And these two things people have to differentiate.
Yeah.
Sometimes South Sudanese men will stay up with the families, one because I don't need to.
Yes. It's not about love, it's about having kids. So it's
You
always
have
only a
kids with
commitment.
them,
It's just a commitment because you
and
have kids.
whenever you go out, you always come back. In as much as these women will claim that they have love outside there, as a Monjang Kinabulari, you have to know that this thing will come back to you.
Okay.
And it is only
So-
few women who settle up in their second marriages in South Sudan, in Dinka especially.
Okay. And
Women
what
who
would be
have
the reason?
good reason, but not just any woman who fires up. There are all these disputes everywhere in families. Men will always be men. They will be disputing almost everything else.
Okay.
And I have a friend is now in the US. He's just so good. He led Wasingishu County, he left, went to South Africa, he did so well, went to Malaysia, he went to Philippines, he went to United Kingdoms, he's now in the US, but he still wants to get married to two wives. And I was like, if you really want, now that you are telling me you want to marry two, tell me as to why. And he said, I've seen the beauty of our culture. Go outside, then you know the ugly part of it.
Okay.
Yes.
So
Just go
Lang is
outside,
saying
then
it
you
is
know the ugly
true.
part of it. Now,
The person who was
telling me-
contesting. Go ahead.
He's telling me he wants to get married to two wives because it's just beautiful. There is joy in being just together.
So
And
there's
that's what
beauty in
women
having
have.
more than one
Good
wife.
beauty. Yes, he says there is that beauty.
And what do you say about that?
There is beauty in my family.
Okay.
In my family that I have
But
my
it takes
mom and my stepmom.
it takes a lot of commitments. A lot
Yes,
of
my mom
commitments
and
and a
my
lot of.
stepmom. And I worried to.
Okay. That's quite interesting.
And if
It
you
can't
see
happen in
my
our
siblings,
in
my
today's
mother,
setting. In today's setting, it can never
it
happen.
doesn't happen.
It's really very rare.
You get a old woman. Nowadays, you don't understand these women. It takes a lot of time to understand them and to know they don't even have their own. They forget themselves. Like
is
to the
sad.
point whereby there are women here, outside here, East Africa, who don't pay their fees for their pupils because they want to punish their husbands. You take your child to school, they are sent to you the fees, you don't pay them. All year, and you think you are a good woman. Yeah,
And that
it
just
shows
to
how
frustrate your man.
needy-minded you get. Yes, you
And
want
it
to
is all
frustrate
about
him.
frustration.
Yeah, and you're getting back to your child.
Definitely.
Yes.
And it's quite hurting, by the way. It's quite
it's very
you're trying to
hurting.
punish your man, but you're destroying your family at some point.
You're destroying your
So,
family.
Yeah. So Monica, we are coming to the end
Yes.
of this conversation. Our today's topic was about polygamy today and before in the past. So if you look back, if you have to reflect back on our past, like our grandfather's time, they used to have their farms, they used to have their cows, and they used to go to the farm. Like the bigger number you have, the more productive you are, the more wealthy you become. I've seen families back in the days, I've had stories whereby a man has more wives and more kids, and they start farming big farms, and they buy more cows, and they become prosperous. But nowadays there are no cows anymore. Farming is not an issue now because of some situation and some insecurity issues. Do you think it has also contributed to this life? Because if it was back
This
in the
life
villages,
is,
we are good.
people have to know that they just don't have to get married because their fathers were getting married. One, because back in the days when my father got married, we had even separated them. We had a lot of kettles, but they were one. Like,
Yeah.
But when he was preparing to get married, he separated them to be two.
Okay.
In that, he has to prepare the family that someone new is coming in. No, it
In
didn't
equal
happen.
numbers? Was it
No, of
this?
course. They had to be fewer.
For the coming one, they have to be fewer.
Yeah, but you know what happened is when she came in, when the marriage was being conducted, it was one. And then after Gyalgam,
Yes.
and then now he was coming, she was about to come back, go then go take it.
So, okay, just to create that
And
space for
to participate, that participation, like that welcoming and that belonging, where she belongs.
And also
Before
ownership. Some women will
when-
fight for ownership. They want to own something.
Yes. And that is how family is. You have to give someone what they have to manage and work hard for it.
Okay.
Before again, when it comes to Koikerer by, what they do is, I'm bringing in some, I'm speaking Mwanyang because some of the words don't get like really up in English.
I'll try to translate them in English because we have English viewers. Go ahead, it's okay.
Yes. So what happened is this, there are those back in the days, buy after they get married. Your first wife maybe has 2 huts in the compound, but the first wife must have 1 hut in the first place. It starts with 1, and then the second one, who is the kitchen. And as time goes by, now she builds the rest of her houses for herself. You can't find a home whereby parenting did a code than parenting did.
Yeah, but now with the renting issue, you find that when you might not even know. You can see a young lady was married yesterday, but having an apartment because
that's where the
they don't work for it.
That's where the conflict comes in, and people have to know. People have to know that. So
now, Monicah,
so that one,
the arguments that polygamy is also helping to reduce the rate of HIV/AIDS because men become faithful when they have more wives instead of cheating outside, and some are saying it has contributed more to infections.
They have more wives. No, they are men who are just there.
So is polygamy contributing to a high rate of infection?
It is not. People get infected even when they don't have wives.
And they're not married even.
They're not even married.
Oh.
And they,
So it has nothing to do with polygamy.
With 10 wives. It's never a justification for a satisfaction for a man to have many women.
Okay. So the bottom line here, Monicah, is that don't be polygamous simply because your father or your grandfather was one. Find a good reason to be polygamous. Plan for it, and not because your father was one, but you need to find a good reason to do it. Otherwise, our point of view, our conclusion is that polygamy is not bad, but if it is done for bad reasons, it becomes bad. But if it is done for good reasons,
these women, when they want us to go as the white people do it, white man will come to you today. They find you interesting for some time. They give birth with you, and that interest shifts. They will break up. They divorce. Go look for another woman. Until before they settle up with someone, they get old. A majority of them, some of them, after sometimes now they find a woman to get settled up with. They will tell you about their.
Yeah. Why did he do it? Maybe there's a reason. Maybe he has weaknesses. Yeah.
So sometimes you don't understand your exactly or your I cannot get married to him because
but you don't know the reason as to why that happened, right?
Yeah. Even your own family. So it relates to a lot of things. But for polygamy to be totally off.
Yeah.
Well, because your first marriage is not working and you want to divorce and get another woman, that woman will not accept you just because you divorced. And there might be a good reason as to why you divorced.
Exactly.
Okay, if you want to stay with that woman and say, I want to bring you in as my second wife, you say, you have women, I don't want to get married to you.
And when he's divorced, also you don't want him because he's divorced. So which is which?
Which is which?
Monica, that is quite interesting. By the way, as we said earlier to our viewers, we're going to be having side conversations week in, week out, and we'll be having different topics, different thematic areas in regards to our cultures. And I'm really happy that at least we have this open-mindedness kind of conversation. And the person who was asking for your hand in marriage online is saying it is true. He seconded your response. Of course, you said you have to come through the process and the procedures, and he said yes, it is true. And this is someone who's an elder in the community. Of course, he knows. I think he wanted just to spice up the conversation and see how you will respond. Otherwise, I think he knows all these things. So, Monica, what is your last advice in regards to polygamy in today's setting? What could you say? Because I know all of us will say, I want a big family. Even me, even other colleagues outside, even some men who are viewing this now. Each one of us, 90% of our people would want to have a polygamous family. Either because of inheritance, you feel like your father did it, so you want to do it.
You see, this is just a summary of how it is like, and how we end up not having a successful kind of polygamy life, and how we just men aimlessly come to claim polygamy as something good, you know. Polygamy comes to a lot of things, and our fathers were very prepared for it. Then you want like
Okay.
you're just everywhere.
But there's some girls everywhere also, Monica. Let's be honest. Okay, at some point I will take
these
men's
girls
side
and
now.
women,
There's
yes.
some girls who are also everywhere. So it is two ways.
We are refusing polygamy, and it is happening live. Women,
And there's some women, Monica, who are accepting to be side chicks. You know, a man is married, but because he buys you an iPhone 13, he gave you a car, you accept to be a side chick to a married man.
and also we
These
are
things
looking
are
for
happening.
money. We are looking for money as
So
well, and our
then-
young men don't have money.
Can't you work for money? Why do you have to look for money?
unless
Why
you
can't
be
you
a
work and get your own
strong
money?
Unless you be a strong lady, that's when you will get married to a broke-ass nigga in the uni.
Okay. So you
so
need.
as,
But
as
marriage
ladies
not,
are
marriage should
shouting
not be.
outside there,
Uh-huh.
there is more to polygamy.
Okay. Okay.
The only one rich man people are fighting for.
Uh-huh. What if this man gets broke? Because of course, being rich is not
Of
permanent.
course, it does happen.
In
It
our
is
setting,
happening. They get broke, and families, and
scattered.
the world is
Family
funny.
fall apart.
These women who have money, they are in inbox of our boyfriends wanting them,
The women
and
who
they
have
spoil
money
them,
are in the inbox of your boyfriends who are broke.
and they are being
That's how it is. These women have money. They're looking for young boys who are energetic but broke, and
yes,
lure them using their money. And also
using
the
their
rich
money.
men, the rich men are looking for your men. They are looking for our girls who are who are also very broke.
Listen to me. I told one of the gentlemen. The good thing is that you out here, you're spoiling women with your ladies with your money. The good thing again is that your wife
Your
out
wife is
there
spoiling another boy outside there with money
is
too.
spoiling. The good thing is it's so beautiful, you know.
It's not beautiful.
It's
It's not beautiful. It's chaotic. It's chaotic. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way.
and you know what? We should have our focus. Our focus
Uh-huh.
shouldn't be on polygamy. Our focus should be on the mischievous kind of relationships we have as currently.
Definitely,
Because
yeah.
they are tycoons in Juba, making money, sending them to their wives in East Africa. And these wives are sending money to boyfriends who are wicked.
And these young boys that are sent money will go and take their girlfriends out.
And now if you find your boyfriend is being taken by a sugar mommy, why don't you go for a sugar daddy?
Yes.
You
So
see the
how can we sort out all this? Because I don't think it is the right setting. I don't
And
think
that's
it is.
why I'm telling you.
It's
That's why
immoral.
I'm telling you, our focus shouldn't be polygamy, because these women are polygamous in their own ways.
Polygamous in their own ways. So it is. Everyone is having fun. Everyone is having fun.
They have one or more gentlemen they spoil. Yeah,
And
you want
on
to say
Sunday-
young
on
ladies
Sunday
outside,
we-
they are not named sugar daddies. At young
Yeah.
women, they are not named sugar daddies. And yet, as a woman, you are there in the inbox. Yeah, I'm getting within.
And the same women will go and say, oh, our girls are getting spoiled, and they will be condemning girls. Hypocrisy of highest level in our community. We are very hypocrite. We say what we don't do, and we do what we don't say.
My man,
So
my
that
husband,
is
if I get married today and kuna nomo in America, I look for myself, dear Bayagana Kuna, like everyone, you don't want to walk home. Come on. He comes.
all right. That is quite
And
interesting, Monica.
a lot of gentlemen your age as I can't really get it because of sugar daddies. With the
Yeah.
aged just because of sugar mummies as well. But shouldn't be blind
So
to that. They shouldn't
boys are
condemn
being
ladies.
bought cars by sugar mummies.
Now
The same
you
thing
find
applies.
if I have a boyfriend who is not sugar mommy, do you think I will ever want a broke ass nigga again?
No.
I will not go for him.
Okay.
I will go for someone who will give money as well. If I genuinely love someone, majority, will you expect me to date?
That frustration might push you to also do the same.
And it is happening. Actually, I learned it. They're happening. They're happening like it's just only. So men outside there, as you spoil ladies, giving them a lot of money. Your women are spoiling our East African boys as well. Don't worry.
Yes.
Don't
So
worry.
what goes around comes
Comes
around.
around.
All
It's
right,
not that
Monica, we are
you have
coming
to
to
have
the end
a
of the
dignified,
program.
now the
Mm-hmm.
thing is we have to have a dignified family
Yeah.
and climb with wealth. Respect those men, they are working hard. If
Mm-hmm.
kuchimoindo chirwire, no diroti kuchaka lui respect kuyakala tech nyiti, kuro yar kona abiru ngadi ngadi abi weti ga jori ama, and a good life in there. Yeah.
So is it also because some men at old age would want to marry young girls? Of course, they have money. The girl will say yes. You get married, but of course, this man satisfaction also in marriage is another thing. So you find that you are spoiled with money, but of course, you need satisfaction. You need that young man that is energetic as yourself. Could it also be another reason? Because I'm seeing a lot of old men who could not do anything. Even they could not climb a car. They need to help themselves to climb up the car, and they could even walk for a distance. But they are marrying 18, 19, 20 years old girls,
The
and these
frustration,
girls are now
okay, they
based.
just have
They're
their
stationed
kids.
in East Africa.
And that's why the aim of just having kids comes in. So now you know what can you always service city.
As long as the kid is yours, you will own the
I'm
kid.
talking
Even if
like
someone is servicing it, and it's fine. All right, that is interesting. I like this conversation. It's going to be a little bit, painful to some people, but it's okay. That is what we do. Is our
okay, by the
community
way,
needs
these
some
are the things
changes.
that are happening. It's just happening. These things are happening.
Yeah,
And if the shoe fits you,
wear it.
huh?
All right, dear viewers, this was Monicah Malith. Monicah Malith is our panelist, sip and chat member of the family, and we're going to be talking about these subjects every week. We'll be talking about something else next week, and just to be social issue that is affecting our community. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Next time, if you want to contribute, you can text us and we can send you the link and you join us and have your opinion. As long as it's constructive, don't be abusive. Say your opinions, disagree with us, it is okay. As long as you respect people's opinions, we are good to go. So Monicah, thank you so much, and it was a lovely conversation.
My apologies to those
No
who
apologies
think
here. No
otherwise.
apologies here. These are opinions, and that's how it is. So
Yeah.
thank you, and see you next
And
week.
they happening. We
Next
are seeing
weekend.
this.
Yes. See you next weekend, and let's have a wonderful weekend. And take care.
Bye.
Bye.